I'd like to call this meeting of the Coventry Technical Review Committee to order. It is Tuesday, January 20th at 1:37 p.m. We're going to go through our agenda. The first is a determination of a quorum. I do see that a quorum of the TRC is present. Next is emergency evacuation plan. We are going out the doors behind you and right out the building. Next is approval of minutes, and we actually have two items. One is the 2026 TRC meeting calendar for the upcoming year, and then the other is the December 8th, 2025 minutes. We can take one motion on both items. Do I hear a motion from another board member? All right, Marshall Mann makes a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Chief Potvin. All in favor of approving both the 2006 TRC meeting calendar and the December 8th minutes, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Those items are approved. Next item of business for us is item 4.1. This is for comments to the Planning Commission on Village at Tioga. This is a preliminary plan, major land development comprehensive permit. And this is to an applicant that has given us recent resubmitted materials, now seeking 162 units composed of a mix of single-family units, multifamily units on approximately 27 acres of land as a comprehensive permit. A minimum of 25% of the units must be deed restricted as affordable. Side access is proposed from Tioga Ave, Tiffany Road, East Shore Drive, and Minglewood Drive. This is for review of the Planning Commission at their January 28th meeting at the Coventry High School. And for all interested members of the public, we do have a standing web page dedicated to all project materials. There are a lot of new updated documents added to that web page over the course of the last 5 days or so. And any comments on the project can be directed to my email. We do not take comments as part of TRC. So let's go through our comments on the Village at Tioga. I'd like to begin with Mr. Haggerty.
Planning staff comments are as follows. The applicant has submitted a revised site layout plan dated January 9th, 2026, received January 13th, 2026, which reduces the density of the proposed development to 162 units. The minimum allowable density based on a combination of their baseline yield plan and state-enabled density bonus. The 162 units shall include in Area 1, 58 multifamily townhouse units with approximately 1,430 square feet of living area plus one garage per unit. There will be 12 two-bedroom units and up to 46 three-bedroom units. In Area 2, 16 single-family cottage units with approximately 1,600 square feet of living area and 3 bedrooms per unit. In Area 3, 88 detached single-family units on their own 5,000 square foot minimum lots with unit sizes ranging from 1,000 to 2,500 square feet. There will be 42 three-bedroom units and up to 46 four-bedroom units. Planning staff recommend the Planning Commission consider the appropriate bedroom count for the proposed units given overall project impacts. State law says the municipality shall not limit the number of bedrooms for a comprehensive permit application for anything less than 3 bedrooms per unit. However, the applicant is seeking up to 46 four-bedroom units in Area 3. Planning staff recommend that the Planning Commission consider a condition stating that the minimum size of the affordable unit should not be less than 75% the size of the market rate units within the same area. For example, if a market rate unit in Area 3 has a 2,500 square foot size, then the affordable units in this area shall not be less than 1,875 square feet. This is consistent with state law. The applicant's revised site layout plan depicts the following changes, which satisfies previous feedback from planning staff and/or Planning Commission on these matters. Proposed sidewalks in Area 1 along the eastern side of Road E, and the approximate location of cluster mailboxes, which are subject to final USPS approval at the entrances to Areas 1 and 2. Proposed street lights every 100 feet per review of the fire district. The proposed locations of the proposed permanent bounds and corner markers. This satisfies the Planning Commission's previously granted waiver to provide this information prior to preliminary plan vote. Proposed improvements including streets, lots, lot lines, setback lines, and curb cuts. This satisfies the Planning Commission's previously granted waiver to provide this information prior to preliminary plan vote. And the proposed landscape plan and street tree specifications, which indicate that the street trees will conform to the subdivision regulations. This applicant has withdrawn their request for a waiver from the street tree requirements. The applicant has also submitted the following documents as part of its revised preliminary plan submission, which satisfies previous feedback from planning staff and/or the planning commission on these matters, including homeowners association HOA provisions for areas 2 and 3, which includes enforcement mechanisms for HOA stormwater system operation and maintenance, among other items. A statement that confirms LMI units will be integrated equally throughout the development and constructed at a proportional manner to the market rate units. Open space restrictions and provisions which prohibit certain activities and uses in open space areas. A planning expert report that details findings of the 1999 comprehensive plan, the 2005 affordable housing production plan, the subdivision regulations, and the zoning ordinance. And finally, a bald eagle report in response to comments from the Conservation Commission, which concludes that 1, there are currently no active or inactive bald eagle nests on the subject property, and 2, the active nest is located off-site to the west of the property and is outside the minimum 660-foot separation distance required by federal law for construction activity. The applicant has also submitted a supplemental traffic letter, and the town's peer reviewer has provided a review of the same. The conclusions from both the applicant's traffic expert and the town's peer review traffic expert is that this traffic safety matter has been adequately addressed by the revised site layout plan and off-site improvements. Planning staff concur with the fire and police, as well as relying upon the expertise of the peer review traffic expert, that the widening of Tiffany Road has adequately addressed emergency access challenges. The applicant shall comply with additional overhead tree clearing and additional tree removal in the Tiffany Road right-of-way per fire's review. The off-site improvements to Tiffany Road shall be completed, and the applicant shall submit an associated certificate of conformance consistent with the inspection procedures document prior to the applicant receiving the 44th building permit certificate of occupancy within Area 3. Planning staff recommend revisions to the site layout plan to relocate the cemetery access easement and gravel path to run through Area 1 to Tioga Avenue. This will limit additional site disturbance and impervious surface in the area near the Oakshead East Shore stormwater basins. Planning staff recommend revisions to the landscape plan to add plantings in the location where there had previously been an open space buffer in Area 1, as well as a narrow stretch between areas 1 and 2 where the proposed sewer line installation will create new site disturbance. Additional planting details to be coordinated, communicated prior to the January 28th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. And planning staff requested the applicant provide engineering details and calculations regarding additional sewer capacity that will be available for the proposed public sewer lines on subject property to allow for a potential expansion of sewer to the south. End of comment.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Next, Fire Marshal Mann, do you have comments?
Tiffany Road shall be cleared to an overhead height of 13'6" throughout. Additional tree removal in the town property to be removed for applicant clarity. Tree removal in the town property. Final tree removal within the right-of-way based on inspection during pre-construction meeting. This was in cooperation with CCFD due to they are using Tiffany Road for access to that area. We have also reviewed the town provided traffic peer review report dated January 16th, 2026, addressing impacts to traffic in the surrounding areas of the development. We are relying on their expertise and finding no additional concerns for fire access at the current time. And finally, the street lighting plan has been reviewed and is acceptable at this time.
Thank you. Police Chief Witt, do you have any comments?
Yes, sir. We have reviewed the town provided traffic peer review report dated January 16th, 2026, addressing impacts to traffic in the surrounding area of the development. We are relying on their expertise and findings that report no significant impacts in the distribution of traffic following changes made to the original planning document. We do not have any outstanding traffic safety concerns at this time.
Thank you. And then we have Town Manager Perillo is stepping in to comment on behalf of DPW. Manager Perillo, do you have any comments on this?
Thank you. Yes, DPW's concerns have been addressed regarding public safety and especially access on Tiffany Road. The improvements, the widening is exactly what we wanted, and we think the peer study shows that this option and these changes will make a difference. So DPW is satisfied with the changes and has no further outstanding concerns.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Montijo, I know that you're commenting on behalf of engineering today. Do you have comments on this?
The engineering's comments are as follows. As previously stated, a RIDEM order of approval is required for the project. Final overall sewer approval will be conditional on the RIDEM issuance of this approval. Applicant shall follow the Town of Coventry inspection procedures document dated 11/10/2025. Engineering has reviewed the changes to drainage from the through road modification and has no additional comment. Engineering has reviewed the proposed modifications to Tiffany Road and has no additional comment. Due to reduction in impervious area, engineering takes no exception to the Area 1 sidewalk being proposed for only one side of the road. Plans comments. Sheet 8 of 28, the overall site layout plan, engineering recommends a mowed grass path for cemetery access in lieu of a gravel path, regardless of direction of travel. End of comments.
Thank you. And then for the record, Mr. Montijo, those comments were drafted by the town engineer. You're just providing the verbal reading of them today.
Correct.
Great, thanks. That completes, unless I've missed anybody on the TRC, that completes our comments on this project. The applicant is welcome to offer any feedback or questions you may have, although it's not required.
Good afternoon, Julie Saris on behalf of the applicant. We are taking consideration the comments that were provided just now, and we will be able to provide a more in-depth response for the planning board meeting. So thank you for your time. We have no further comments or additional information at this time. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Mr. Guglielmo, do you have anything to add?
Go right
Just-
ahead.
Sorry, Greg Guglielmo, Dupree Engineering. I was just hoping we could get a copy of, or the locations of the trees you'd want
Yeah.
removed on Tiffany.
Very happy
Just
to
so we
do
can
that.
add that into the plan.
Yeah, we've got them marked out. And after the meeting, we can either show you what they are, or we can communicate that with a scanned document. And we can coordinate before the planning commission meeting.
Yeah, scanned document is fine. on
Great.
that. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And Greg, did you have anything? I know you reviewed very briefly the easement document that was provided as a public comment by a Mr. Hardy. Did you have any? you
Yeah,
said you had a
I-
chance to look at that. Did you want to comment?
I
on
can
that?
address that. That easement is encumbered on that actual parcel.
Yep.
So it is not part of Tiffany Road. There's no grading easement on Tiffany. That I wasn't able to research what the easement is for, but usually when you see a grading easement encumbered on your parcel, it's usually because your abutter has a septic system. And years ago, you had to keep a 25-foot easement. So if you couldn't provide that on your property, you had to provide that on someone else's property. So that's the way I read that. I wasn't able to find in the short amount of time that I had the actual OWTS system that was approved, but there is no grading easement on Tiffany that would prohibit us from doing minor widening of that road in that section.
Gotcha. So based on that, you did not see any concerns with moving forward as you planned.
No.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Unless the applicant has anything else to offer, TRC members, any additional questions or comments on this? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business on the agenda. The next is item 4.2, Dante Real Estate, 2 Tioga Avenue. This is for comments to the Planning Commission. This is a combined master plan and preliminary plan, major land development with associated dimensional variances, located on Tioga Avenue. This is located generally behind the McDonald's on Tioga. The applicant seeks to construct a 10,000 square foot commercial condo building with associated landscaping and parking. In addition, the applicant is seeking dimensional variance for having less than the required vegetative buffer on the east side of the property and for the building design elements proposed for the site, which is located in the special planning overlay district. This particular matter will not be heard until the February 25th meeting of the Planning Commission. For this one, Mr. Chase, do you mind leading us off with comments?
Sure. Planning staff notes that this major land development application is being heard under a unified development review as dimensional variances are requested. The applicant is requesting to combine the master and preliminary stages of review. The commission has the discretion to vote on this combined submission as proposed. The applicant is seeking dimensional variances for having less than the required 50-foot vegetated buffer on the east side of the property and for the building design elements proposed for this site which conflict with the Special Planning Overlay District Code. Staff strongly recommend adding additional tree plantings along the back easterly side of the proposed structure. While a 50-foot buffer is not feasible, the rear of the building should be adequately screened from the abutting residential property. The required 50-foot vegetated buffer must be maintained along the southern edge of the property to shield the residents along that line. We note that the applicant has provided information on the current buffer and has proposed a double row of trees. The dumpster has been relocated to the northern side of the building to address prior staff comments. The applicant is not required to provide state and local permits at this stage of review, but will be required to submit them at final plan. Per recently adopted state law, section 452339, state and local permits for major land developments and major subdivisions will now be required at the final stage plan of review, as opposed to the preliminary plan. The applicant shall submit the proposed color of the building prior to the Planning Commission hearing to confirm code compliance. The applicant shall submit additional information on the proposed lighting of the building/site. The applicant shall reduce lighting and glare towards the southern edge of the property.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. And then for fire, I believe Chief Katie, this falls in your district. Any comments on this?
No comments.
Great, thank you. Police Chief Witt, do you have any comments on this one?
We have no comments at this time.
Great. Engineer Representative Mr. Montijo, do you have any comments on this one?
Engineering comments are as follows. For the plans, a RIDEM wetlands permit will be required. A RIDEM OWTS permit is required. Sheet 17 of 14, the PAP plan, variance required for driveway access spacing with the McDonald's parking lot. Sheet 8 of 14 for the erosion control plan, the Town of Coventry soil erosion and sediment control permit will be required. Sheet 10 of 14, infiltration basin number 1 details, minimum of 10-inch compacted gravel required under pavement. Sheet 11 of 14, infiltration number 2, basin details. Detail 4 is incorrectly labeled as infiltration basin 1. Sheet 12, drainage details. Detail 6 is incorrectly labeled as catch basin 1. Sheet 14, chain link fence must have slats for screening. The town engineer requests to identify the location of detail 3, the roadway detail is referencing. And please renumber and retitle details on sheet 14. End of comments.
Thank you. And then Manager Perillo, any comments from DPW on this?
No comment.
All right, I believe that covers all our comments. If the applicant has any questions, feedback, it's not required. I see you out there, John. No problem. And then we can provide written comments of these, John, if you'd like. Just ask and we can get you an email. All right. Unless there's any other comments, I'll move on to the next agenda item. Next item is 4.3 Hoxie Court Place. This is for comments to the Planning Commission. It's a preliminary plan, minor subdivision with street extension. This is located between Hoxie Court and Notre Dame Street. Applicant seeks to merge 2 existing lots and subdivide them into 3 new conforming lots. The existing dwelling at 31 Hoxie Court will remain on proposed lot 2, which will be 1.24 acres in size. Proposed lots 1 and 3 will each be relatively just under a half an acre in size, and will be developed with single-family dwellings on each. This proposal will be heard by the Planning Commission at the February 25th meeting. Let's begin from Mr. Haggerty. Do you have comments on this?
Yes, planning staff comments are as follows. Number 1, planning staff notes that the applicant seeks submission waivers from providing detailed information regarding checklist items number 53, street trees, and item number 73, landscape plan. Staff expects that the proposed street trees will conform to the Article 13, Section B13 of the subdivision regulations for location, type, size, quality, planting, inspection, maintenance, etc. Number two, the applicant shall itemize any requested waivers from the subdivision regulations, including for sidewalks and curbing. The project narrative states that, quote, as coordinated during the pre-application stage of the project, no formal sidewalks or curbing are required, end quote. Planning staff's TRC comments from pre-app offered support for these waivers, but they still need to be itemized and formally requested as part of the preliminary plan application for the planning commission's consideration. Number three, note that all waivers from the subdivision regulations must be granted by the planning commission at preliminary plan and cannot be granted by the administrative officer during a staff level review of the final plan stage. Number four, the applicant shall provide bond estimates for the roadway and drainage components before the planning commission review in February. Number five, no streetlights will be required for this subdivision as agreed upon with the fire district. And number six, the applicant must confirm in writing that the proposed cul-de-sac will be 188.22 feet in length. Per Article 13, Section B8 of the subdivision regulations, the cul-de-sac must be 180 feet at minimum and 800 feet at maximum.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. I'll go to any fire representative. Katie, do you have any comments on this one?
No comments at this time.
All right. We'll go down the other side. Police Chief Witt, any comments?
No comments.
Manager Perillo, any comments?
No comment.
All right. And then Engineer Representative Montijo, any comments?
Engineering comments are as follows. As a submitted 11/14/2025 project memorandum notes, a Town of Coventry soil erosion and sediment control permit will be required. And engineering requests a meeting with the engineer of record to discuss the project's stormwater design related to the impervious area. End of comments.
All right. That completes the comments. If the applicant has any questions, feedback, feel free. Mr. Cronin.
Good afternoon. So in the course of our submission, we have received several conversational comments that our planned drainage would not be accepted by the town, wouldn't be owned by the town, maintained by the town.
Correct.
Our plans still say that that's going to be the case, and I expected comments from Kevin McGee or Manager Perillo to that regard today. We have not received any formal feedback on that item. Quite frankly, we're waiting for this afternoon's meeting to understand the town's thoughts so that we could probably potentially redesign. And that's why we had not submitted updated plans for this meeting. So that's a topic that although this panel as currently constructed probably cannot address, it does need to be addressed before we get to that February planning meeting. So if we have some alternative mechanism to address that issue, that would be helpful to the applicant.
Understood. Yeah, I know Mr. Levesque was feeling ill, wasn't able to attend today. So I think, a lot of the conversation will be with him. We've got lots of time prior to the next planning commission meeting. And I do know that one of the basins you have is half in the town right of way and half on private property. I think the main comment there was we were looking for that to remain under the HOA maintenance and monitoring. We didn't have concerns with the location. We just wanted to ensure that that was the case. But I know Mr. Levesque wanted to have more detailed conversations directly with you on stormwater across the entire site.
Okay, we'll arrange that. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. Any other comments or questions from the TRC on this matter? Hearing none, we'll move to the next agenda item, and this is the last agenda item for today. This is the Thoreau ADU. This is for comments to the Planning Commission. This is an accessory dwelling unit with the associated dimensional variances. This is located at 31 King Street. The applicant proposes to construct a 1,625 square foot, two-bedroom accessory dwelling unit on their 0.76 acre parcel. Applicant seeks two dimensional variances as the ADU will be placed in the front yard and exceed the maximum allowable floor area requirements. And this proposal will be reviewed by the Planning Commission at their February 25th, 2026 meeting. Mr. Haggerty, do you have comments on this one?
Yes, planning staff comments are as follows. Number one, The proposed 1,625 square foot, 1-story, 2-bedroom ADU will include 1,006 square feet of living area, a 528 square foot garage, and a 91 square foot covered porch. Number 2, the applicant seeks 2-dimensional variances for the proposed structure. Dimensional variance number 1, the structure will be placed in the front yard where zoning code section 255-920 dictates that the detached accessory structures must be placed in the rear yard or in the side yard if side setbacks can be maintained. Dimensional variance number 2, the structure will exceed the maximum allowable floor area requirements. The applicant is seeking a 2-bedroom ADU at 1,625 square feet, where the maximum unit size for a 2-bedroom ADU in this case is 1,200 square feet per zoning code section 255-920. This represents an approximate 35.4% increase above the dimensional requirement. Number 3, the applicant has proposed an extension of their existing driveway to serve the ADU as opposed to a separate curb cut and driveway per feedback from planning staff. The garage will face the principal dwelling structure rather than the street. And number 4, the applicant has proposed a landscape buffer along their front yard in front of the proposed ADU to ensure reasonable screening of views from the abutting neighbors and public right-of-way. Planning staff suggests that the new plantings mimic the size and quality of the existing trees along the western border of the property. End of.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Chief Potvin, any comments from planning on this one?
No comments and no concerns.
Thank you. Police Chief Witt, any comments on this one?
No comments?
Manager Perillo, any comments for DPW?
No comment.
All right, and then Engineer Representative Montijo, any comments on this one?
Engineering comments are as follows. A Town of Coventry soil erosion and sediment control permit is required. A RIDEM OWTS permit is required. Stormwater management practices must be provided to treat the water quality volume of runoff from the project's proposed driveway in accordance with the state stormwater manual and the state of Rhode Island stormwater management guidance for individual single-family residential lot development. Practices could consist of qualifying pervious areas, rain gardens, or infiltration systems such as drywalls or crushed stone trenches. Please submit stormwater management practice sizing calculations for the driveway runoff volume, prepared either by a licensed engineer or surveyor.
I'll give it to you.
And lastly, there is a Palestrine open water wetland behind the subject property. Please ensure any disturbances outside of the wetlands buffer zone. End of comments.
Great, that completes the comments. I know I can see the property owners here. It's not required that you come up, offer feedback or ask questions, although you're more than welcome to. And I can get you a written copy of these comments. Come on.
I think I'm good. I think Brian and my husband are both at work, so I don't have too much. I know that I saw John's Potvin's original one. There will be a lot of smoke detectors and CO2 in there. The only other thing that Brian will answer was yours. The wetlands, I believe, are behind the project after the berm for that, the old Cambio land. But I know that Brian sent Dennis over the site plan this afternoon.
Okay, that should be fine then.
Yeah, I don't think you were within that disturbance buffer area. I think the
No.
engineer's just making sure you're, you don't have a big wide disturbance area to the rear of your own property while you construct. I think he just wants to put you on notice to make sure your limit of disturbance stays out of the wetland buffer.
Contractor will reply to
Yeah.
the comments that were.
And then do you want to take this with you? You're free to take those comments. And you've got lots of time. You're always welcome to reach us, ask questions if there's anything you want to address.
This Thursday or
No.
for?
Now you're heading towards February 25th. So you've got lots of time. So just take a look, and where you have questions, feel free to reach out. Where you have anything you want to add, a piece of information, you've got lots of time to do that. You probably have 2 weeks till you even need to turn your attention back to this because we're at this point over 4 weeks out from the meeting.
Okay, all right. And then if whatever he sent you, you have any questions, just shoot it back. Okay,
Great,
all right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, any other comments on this application? Hearing none, I will consider this meeting of the technical